Welcome to In the Clinch with Chuck and D. I'm Chuck.
And I'm D.
We're going to review the UFC 119 fight card. Before we get into that, though, the Fight Night Live was a pretty good set of fights.
It was a pretty good set of fights. I actually missed the first one due to some technical difficulties, but I heard it was a good fight.
I didn't see it.
And I was upset because Dana tweeted "Oh, it's a great fight!" exclamation marks, and I'm like, dude.
I guess Cole Miller won. I don't know.
Which is surprising, man. I mean, I did not expect him to win that fight.
I think he won by KO. I believe.
I don't know. I don't know. But
I guess we ain't doing a review show this week.
Well, no. Well, then I mean, it was some other fights that was really good. I mean, we
already talked about the Paul Harris fight.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of disappointing to know that this dude, went into the fight. I mean, he probably could have won that fight had he been more serious with what he was doing. And I mean, you don't look to tell a ref that, hey, he slipped out of my lock. He feels
as if Mark Watt is supposed to go. No,
right.
There's nothing. You want to check?
I mean, that was just a bonehead move.
Posey.
It was a Posey move, man. I mean,
man.
People named Posey do stuff like that. So,
all right. Anyways, let's get into this. Let's get into this great fight card. We got Melvin Guillard versus Jeremy Stephens. This is going to be a dog fight.
It's going to be a dog fight.
There's going to be some heat thrown in this fight.
These two guys are like they're at like the bottom tier of the top 10 lightweights in the UFC. I mean, looking at Melvin Guillard's record, this guy has 43 fights on record. 43. I mean, I'm sorry. I take that back. 43 wins. 43 wins. He has, what's that, 53
fights. This will be his 54th professional fight.
So, I mean, that's just amazing, man. I mean, it's... And he's like, I mean, the guy is, 27?
Why is the mic always more towards you?
You're going to interrupt me and just...
I'm sorry. I just noticed that the mic is always more towards you.
It's not more
Gary, why is the mic always more towards him?
My bad. The mic isn't more towards... Right here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Problem fixed.
Thank you. Now we can continue. So how you see this fight going?
Oh, my God. This guy. I don't know, man. Jeremy Stephens is a great fighter, though, too. I mean, this guy, I mean, he has...
he's the hardest puncher in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean,
pound per pound.
Both these guys like to stand, you know what I'm saying? I can see...
Somebody's going to sleep.
I think somebody's going to get knocked out. I see this fight maybe going second round knockout.
Unless Jeremy Stephens pulls a Brock Lesnar and learns some jiu-jitsu between his last fight and this fight.
Well,
because that Melvin Guillard, I mean, I think that tattoo roughly translated on his arm says, "You can submit me."
Well, he is susceptible to the submission, so... I mean, because...
He's got a tattoo on the back of his neck that says, "Choke me."
So, this guy... I don't, man... You're okay. You had too much sugar in your cornflakes this morning.
You look real preppy today.
I'm teaching you how to wear a tie, man. Can't bring that retro tie phase back, man. I gotta come clean. So, anyway, I see this fight.
Can we insert some applause, like we have a studio audience in there? Anyways,
I see this fight. Yes, back to the fight. I see this fight.
Are those prescription?
Yes.
Just checking.
You want my social? You want my social? Want my birth certificate?
I'm just checking. I'm just making sure one of them guys running around
pen,
with a pair of glasses on so you can look smarter.
I am smarter than you.
Well, okay. Yeah.
So that's just
you know what they say, if you have to say it.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways,
I believe
Guillard and Stephens, can we get back on track?
Can we get back on track? Really? This guy. I'm looking for a new co-host. Hey, but your name has to be Chuck.
It just doesn't work.
Right, it just doesn't work if it's not Chuck and Dean.
You could always get Brandon.
Nah. Brandon and Dean? Nah. Can't work under these conditions.
Stephens and Guillard.
I'm gonna take Jeremy Stephens.
I'm gonna take Marvin Guillard. I think Marvin Guillard is Jeremy Stephens absolutely probably hits harder. But I think Melvin. Sorry, Melvin. I'm sorry. Melvin Gillard is a more diverse striker than Jeremy Stephens.
I think that's true. I think that's true. I just think, I'm going to say this. If Jeremy Stephens can get into the head of Melvin Gillard, then...
it's like...
Yeah. So.
All right. Next fight, Sean Sherk versus Evan Dunham. This should be...
How is Evan Dunham 11-0? This is beyond me. I mean, this guy looks like just the kid that should be working at Best Buy in charge of the gaming section.
I was doing my Sean Sherk.
I was aware of that. I mean, but...
I know. The guy does not look like your prototypical fighter.
I mean, if you were to see this guy in the street, you probably try to you get your ass whooped. You would get your ass whooped because you would try to flex on this dude, and you get your ass whooped.
He looks like he's gonna break out his Best Buy Nerd Squad, Geek Squad badge at any moment.
But you know what? With saying that, I'm gonna have to go with Evan Dunham. His last fight, man, I was just shocked. I was utterly and totally shocked. And I mean, to be honest with you, man, Sean Sherk, he was champ.
If this was the hill,
he's already crossed. He went over the hill already. Yeah. And I don't mean that. Oh, you know what? I can't say that. The kid he's still a young fighter though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we in this business call a retraction.
Right. And I'm retracting because I can't say he's over the hill. But this will be the fight that he would have to prove himself in.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do him proper respect to Sean Sherk. Evan Dunham's got a 70-inch reach advantage. You know,
he's taller. I don't think he's faster. So
yeah, I'm going Evan Dunham too, but I'm gonna say it's going to the decision.
It's gonna go to decision.
Yeah. Next fight. Speaking of old,
Matt Serra and Chris Lytle.
Dude is you got to give. Last time we picked against Lytle, he
surprised. He did. He surprised you.
He surprised me
because I picked him.
That's true. You did.
Picked him. And the only reason I picked him is because he's an Indiana boy. He's a Hoosier, so. And guess what?
You picking him again?
I'm picking him again.
You don't want to go with Matt Serra?
I like Matt Serra. This fight is going to be one of the fights that's going to stay standing. It's a stand-up fight because we already know Chris Lytle is not going to take this guy to the ground.
Well, go to the ground. Chris Lytle is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. A matter of fact, he's more known for submissions than Matt Serra.
I think
is he a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? No,
I just think Serra's just more dangerous on the ground, man. I mean, Serra is known for that, man.
I just think Matt Serra he's like an alligator. You know what I mean? The short arms.
I mean, but if he hits you, man, you might go out.
I'm going with Chris Lytle on this.
I'm going with Chris Lytle.
I'm going to call it a decision.
And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying and you got to look at. I mean, both these dudes, they're pretty old. I mean,
fight wise.
Right. And then looking at the both of these guys as far as like their styles and how they match up, I think they match up really well against each other. Stand up, because I believe that's where this fight will stay. I feel Chris Lytle has the edge in this fight.
I agree.
I'm gonna go.
Chris Lytle.
Yeah, I think it'll be a decision too.
I'm going to decision as well. This is gonna be a great fight.
Little
Nog versus Ryan Bader.
The Nogueira brothers are great. Great jiu-jitsu practitioners. Ryan Bader, on the other hand, I mean, this guy's wrestling and his takedowns is monstrous. His striking is just great too. The guy is 12-0 in the UFC.
They're pretty equal. Everything else.
He's the Ultimate Fighter winner too, right?
Yes.
So yeah, and I have to say that he's probably one of the best Ultimate Fighter winners, maybe since Rashad. Maybe Rashad.
I agree with that. I'm gonna go with Ryan Bader, and I think it's gonna be a knockout.
It's gonna be a knockout. It's gonna be a knockout because I don't see this fight. It may go to the ground. I think Bader has enough ground and pound skills to not get caught in a submission. Little Nog looked like crap his last fight.
Yeah, he did.
And that's why.
He almost got tapped out in his own. Yeah, I mean, he almost got tapped out to a far inferior.
Yeah, and I'm not impressed with Little Nog since he came into the UFC. So.
And last but not least, we got Frank Mir versus the ageless Mirko Cro Cop.
What is that? Is Mirko like 60?
I don't know.
Dude, I mean, that dude, he's been fighting a long
Looks
time.
like he's got dentures.
Yeah, it does. Like, he had, yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, this guy,
It's a tough fight to call.
It is a tough fight to call because the thing is, Mir is really good against European fighters. Mir is really skilled and technical in what he brings to the table.
Except that he doesn't never stick to the game plan.
That is true.
He never sticks to his strengths, and his strengths are submission.
Do you think he's gonna get sucked into the fact that?
I think that he hopefully learned his lesson against.
Well, do you think he did?
No, because he's just that kind of guy he's stubborn like that. So I think he's gonna try and stand up with Mirko Cro Cop because he's gonna want to try and beat Mirko at his own game. But then again, Frank Mir can pull something out of his ass and go for a takedown.
Well, he's good for that. He's good for pulling shit out of his ass.
I mean, I'm gonna surprise some people. I'm taking Frank Mir. It's gonna be a submission, and I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be early in the second round.
Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know who I want to pick on this fight. I like Cro Cop. I mean, if you look at my ranking of heavyweights, I actually have Mir ahead of Cro Cop. But I think I'm going to pick Cro Cop on this fight.
Wow.
I feel that he can knock Frank Mir out.
That tie.
It might be cutting off something, but...
You think he's going to knock Frank Mir out?
I think he got... I'm saying knockout second round. Maybe a good head strike may come.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that says it then.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all we got. So we'll come back the following week. We'll do a review of UFC 119, and then we'll start doing a setup for UFC 120.
Oh, yeah. Another great.
There's a Strike Force coming up as well.
Oh, yeah, there is. Strike Force, and then also there's WC at the end of the month as well.
WC at the end of the month. So you'll see us back. Until that time, I'm Chuck.
And I'm D.